guys, welcome back to another edition of Max and Nicky 1000th Time Reactions.
Where we react to a song after listening to it for our 1000th time.
We release 3 videos a day.
Every day.
So please hit that subscribe button.
So you don't miss out on all our amazing content.
That's right, Nicky. What do we got on the docket right now, Nicky?
Right now we're going to listen to the Gipsy Kings, Bamboleo. I haven't seen anybody react to this at the Gipsy Kings at all on YouTube. But we listened to...
Well, our mom would listen to this a lot in the car when we were very young.
Sure, she had the album, I think it came out in 1988, the album that Bamboleo is on. But that album had a lot of hits on it. Jobi Joba, Bamboleo Maria, Inspiration, A Mi Manera, Quiero Saber. I mean, there's a lot of hits on the album. And Bamboleo is arguably their biggest hit.
Bamboleo, yeah.
They were so big in the late 80s that they actually played on Saturday Night Live. And I saw that episode. Matthew Modine hosted it.
Okay, well, we'll get into that later.
Oh, sure.
Before we get into it, though, we got to remind you, as we normally do, that we have another channel called Max and Nicky, where we perform oldies,
tunes,
jazz standards, and some originals, and we got comedy videos on there as well.
So check that out if you so desire.
But for right now, let's take a listen to the Gipsy Kings, Bamboleo.
For our 1000th time.
Here we go.
Ese amor llega sin esta manera.
It's not yet.
No tiene la culpa. Caballo le dan sabana porque es muy despreciado. Por eso no te perdono llorar. Ese amor llega sin esta manera. No tiene la culpa. Amor de compra y venta, amor del pasado. Ven, 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 ven. Bamboleo, bambolea, porque mi vida yo la prefiero vivir así. Bamboleo, bambolea, porque mi vida yo la prefiero vivir así. No te da perdón de Dios. Tú eres mi vida, la fortuna del destino. El destino te desaparado. Lo mismo ya callé, lo mismo soy yo. No te encuentro lavando. Eres posible, no te encuentro de verdad. Por eso un día no encuentro así de nada. Lo mismo ya callé, lo pienso en ti. Bamboleo, bambolea, porque mi vida yo la prefiero vivir así. Bamboleo, bambolea, porque mi vida yo la prefiero vivir así. Bamboleo, bambolea, porque mi vida yo la prefiero vivir así. Bamboleo, bambolea, porque mi vida yo la prefiero vivir así. Bamboleo, bambolea, porque mi vida yo la prefiero vivir así. Bamboleo, bambolea, porque mi vida yo la prefiero vivir así. Bamboleo, bambolea, porque mi vida yo la prefiero
good tune, man.
It's a great
good.
tune. It's a great
also
tune.
masterfully performed. I mean, they're just combining these styles of
There's
music.
a lot of musicians in this group.
Sure,
There's
and
a lot of them.
obviously, right off the bat, they got that clapping situation.
That clapping situation, it requires a lot of guys
Coordination.
to do that, a lot of coordination.
It's really hard because they're not just doing it by themselves. They're each clapping on the offbeat of each other. So
So they kind of have to. It's just a very
they
difficult
have to
thing
be
to
completely
coordinate.
in sync to
Yeah.
be clapping on the offbeats of each other that fast.
Yeah, it's
I've
very
tried
hard.
it before.
It is very
many
hard.
times.
It's very
hard to maintain like that.
Not only that, but the guitar work is very masterful.
It's
Even
like
in
they're classical guitarists.
Well,
basically.
they are. Yeah, I mean, it kind of has a flamenco guitar kind of sound.
Flamenco.
Well, yeah, flamenco. Sorry. Flamenco. Well, flamenco. I say flamenco. You say flamenco.
Okay.
Oh, you know what I'm saying. Anyway,
But what's interesting is
I was just going to say the guitar work, even in the very beginning, is masterful with the dynamics. I mean, you hear this, the dynamics sound. It sounds like they didn't want to use a hard compressor on that guitar in the beginning.
Sure.
They wanted to keep it natural sounding.
you know what's interesting is the rhythm guitar that they're doing is very hard to do too. It's this really fast kind of.
Well, it's a flamenco style.
Sure. But what's interesting is I remember when I was in college, my freshman year, my roommate, he overheard me listening to this and he's like, what is that? He really liked it. And I'm like, oh, it's the Gipsy Kings. He's like, what language are they singing in? I'm like, oh, I thought it was Spanish. He's like, no, it's not Spanish. He's like, he spoke Spanish and he's like, it's not quite Spanish, but it's not like quite
Oh, is it Catalan?
French or something.
Is it Catalan?
No, it's they're not called Gypsy Kings for nothing. Actually, it's really kind of this kind of language that is it kind of is comprised of different these
Like
romance languages.
Romani
yeah,
people, maybe?
I don't know exactly. And in fact, I think some of the members of the Gypsy Kings, if not all of them, are from France, which is interesting.
You know what's interesting? When I was in France, did you mention you being in France already? No.
No.
Oh well, when I was in France, because at first I went when I was in France, but I guess I mean to say when I was in France.
Oh yeah, we both were in. We both studied in France.
When I was in France, in the subway stations, sometimes I would see guys like this that would play in this style, and they would be getting a lot of money from people because
Sure.
people but there were a lot of them actually that would be performing at once. I mean, it was a show to watch. But it seemed like that was a popular thing.
It's weird because and correct us if we're wrong about what language they're speaking. Comment it below and tell us what they're actually speaking because obviously the song "Quiero Saber."
Quiero Saber.
I want to know, or I love to know, or I don't know. I mean,
Well, whatever. That is Spanish.
I
for
want to
sure.
know.
And
But that's Spanish,
You can
but-
definitely tell that they're influenced by flamenco music.
sure, but it's not all just Spanish. I don't know for sure. I'd probably have to look it up
Well, in
afterward.
any event, it is interesting that, this would become.
You don't
the
need
most-
to look over there, but
Sorry, I'm kind of just looking at the album cover of the video we're watching, but it's interesting that this became hugely popular. I mean,
internationally,
Internationally
it was a huge
popular.
international. They were huge international sensations.
it's just I don't know if you could have that now. Could you?
well,
Maybe you could.
I
Maybe you could.
would say that they do now. It's something like Despacito, which is hugely popular, but it's not even close to the musicianship that these guys display.
I'm afraid I have to confess I don't know what Despacito is. What's that?
I think it's like one of the biggest selling singles of all time. It came out within the past 10 years, maybe
By
the past
who?
5 years. It's by, I don't remember, I don't know what the artist's name is, but I think that it like features Justin Bieber. If I'm not mistaken, I might be mistaken.
Well, that's why.
I don't, but it's
But these guys didn't feature anybody
hold
but
on.
themselves.
I think Despacito, at some point, it had the most views of any video on YouTube recently. Maybe in the past few years, it accomplished that goal.
Really?
But it's not, that does not display nearly the talent that the Gypsy Kings display in this in this song here. You know, I mean, you can equate it to like
Does
even
that make me
the
not
Macarena.
Does that make me not hip that I didn't know what Despacito is?
Well, I wouldn't consider that song hip. You know, it's a pop. I mean, it's not a pop. It's like what is that called? It's kind of like that sort of Mexicali dance music kind of thing. Reggaeton. I guess it's kind of like reggaeton.
Wait, reggaeton? No,
something like that. I don't know.
Are you talking about kind of the Smiths kind of thing? No, I'm just, like the 12-string guitar kind of sound.
Oh, I don't know. We're going to be wrong about the information I provide about Despacito because I don't.
Maybe you want to just cut this part out. Maybe.
Well, I don't know.
Well, anyway,
but, we're going this song, or this song, but the Gypsy Kings in general, they were so popular, and even into the 90s. I mean, they re-recorded, they did their own version of Volare, and they did. They did their version of Hotel California, which was hugely popular, which was featured in The Big Lebowski.
I gotta say, I prefer their version.
I prefer the Gypsy Kings version. I mean, look, to the Eagles version.
I like the Eagles version too, but I don't know. Maybe it's because I think I heard the Gypsy Kings version first. Because I mean, our mom would listen to this a lot when we were very young. Well,
yeah, I guess, but I would say even in 1998 when The Big Lebowski came out, it features the Gypsy Kings version of Hotel California. Well, that even almost repopularized them,
But I think the reason for that was that movie takes place in the early 90s, probably at maybe the height of their... Well, they were quite popular, the late 80s?
The late 80s, early 90s.
Early 90s, so at the height of their success, So...
regardless, they were hugely popular. I'm sure you guys know that if you're watching this video. Maybe you don't, but you probably do. We love this song. We love the Gypsy Kings, I mean, the album that this originally appears on, I would put this album on repeat in college, even before, but in college, especially because I had this small MP3 player that couldn't fit too many songs on it. And I would take jogs to this album.
He wore it out.
I wore it out.
Anyway, I think that'll
do it for this.
That'll do it for this reaction video.
If you like what you heard and saw today, please hit that subscribe button and ding that post notification bell to find out about more Max and Nicky reaction videos.
Please keep tuning in.